We are live. So we'll just give it a second here. All right. If you're jumping on now, we are just setting up, last minute little prep here. Yours truly just sprinted in the door. Eric, how you doing?
Doing good. How are you, Tom?
Good.
Where are you sprinting in from?
Just running some errands.
No.
Yeah. Heading out of town tomorrow, going to Nashville.
Nice.
And speaking at an event down there. And had a bunch of errands to run here today to be able to get out of here tomorrow. So, all right, everybody. We got Allah Hayek. We got Facebook user. Who else is on here? Drop a note in the comments. Tell us what you do and where you're from. And Eric and I will dig in here in a second. Merrick, what's up, man? Good to see you. Who else? Come on, don't be bashful. We all do this every Monday. And I always like to know who we're talking to. Facebook user says hi. Karina, what's going on? General Remodeling, Oklahoma. And Harry Knuckles Steve. We got Ruben in California. We got a handyman Aaron in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Guys, if you're on Facebook, we won't see your name unless you follow directions that she just put on there to grant permission to StreamYard to show your name. All right. We got New Jersey, Sean. We got HVAC. Sean is an HVAC guy in New Jersey. All right. Good stuff. Good to be together today. Got to pound my little protein drink and my water. Got to keep hydrated, Eric.
Hey, man. I keep my Yeti mug filled with water as well.
There you go. Chris is Golden Key Contracting. Good to see you here. Monogram Design Build from Joliet. What's up, John? Good to see you. My old stomping grounds, somewhat. All right. Well, good deal, guys. Today, we are obviously live. And because that's what this is. It is a live. And I am here today with Eric Fortenberry from JobTread. How you doing, man?
Doing great.
All right. Guys, give me a yes or a no. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Excited to be here.
Yeah, it's good to have you, man. Guys, give me a yes or a no. Have you ever heard of JobTread? This is
Hopefully
always
humbling,
Eric. Whatever. Yeah, when I do this, I speak to groups that are not necessarily part of the fight. No hands go up, which is motivating for me. But we got a yes and we got a no, so we're 50-50 right now. Got another no. Got a few no. Oh, got a lot of no's, Eric. See,
all right.
This is good, isn't it? This is good. And guys. Yeah, that's right. Guys, do me a favor. Do me a favor. This shit's free. We come here free every week. Do me a favor and share the live on YouTube. Okay? Hit the share button and share it. Make sure you like it and all that other stuff to help YouTube push it out to more people. How about that? That's our cover charge for this. Is you hit share or you hit like, do something like that so that more contractors like you can up their game, and we could, what's that saying, Eric? A rising tide lifts all ships, something like that. And all right, so we got a few yeses in here. We got some no's. Facebook user says best option out there.
I love it. Wish I knew who that was.
Yeah, I know. I wish I knew who that was too. Is that Cole?
Cole.
Is that Cole? Yeah. Aaron says done. Thank you for liking or sharing whatever you did there. Thank you,
Thanks,
Karina. And cool, guys. Appreciate all that. So Guys, want to get going here today. Before we get into just some of the topics, mainly the topic around client communication we're going to talk about today. But Eric, my man, who the fuck are you and what the fuck is JobTread? See how I stayed on brand? We got to stay on fight brand.
Oh yeah, I certainly
more
like
color.
brand, Tom. Yeah, no, I'm the founder and CEO of JobTread. We provide construction estimating, project management software. Really any construction based business. If you're running jobs, sending out proposals, change orders, trying to keep your jobs on schedule, on budget. Collecting your payments as well. We've got an all-in-one solution here that can help any sized, any type of construction business.
See, I don't know all the bells and whistles in there, but the one that I really like is the fact that somebody can plug in what their gross profit margin is going to be on a job, and you tell them what to charge. Yep. So that's pretty good. So give us a flyby on some before we get into the specifics of today. Of what's all the cool shit you can do with JobTread, and why should we care?
Yeah, I mean, I think really I built this out of a needs basis when I was running a construction company. And I had a lot of the challenges that, most of your audiences has probably had at some point or currently having, managing and scaling their business. And so, we created this software to just streamline a lot of that and to help improve the processes, whether it be, communication or accurately pricing your jobs or managing, your job cost or getting paid, collecting on those invoices. We wanted to build that all into one solution that was easy to use, as affordable as possible. And, that's essentially what we did. We've started selling it in 2021. Last year we got over 1,000 customers. This year our goal is, get to 2,000 active customers. So we want to keep doubling up. But, the cool thing about JobTread is that it was built out of a needs basis, while I ran a construction company, and then, pretty much, almost everyone on my team has construction experience. So like we genuinely understand the challenges that contractors are facing on a daily basis. We've been in their shoes, and it's neat to be able to have so many customers who we view as our partners as well, and we can collaborate on solutions and work together to keep adding new features and making it better. And it's that's the neat thing about software is that just because it doesn't do something today doesn't mean that it can't do that tomorrow.
I love it. So what? Why not just use one of the existing things that were out there?
Yeah, and I certainly realize that there's a lot of existing solutions out there. When I was running the construction company, I dug in and I literally tried everything. I had this massive spreadsheet where I tracked all the pros, the cons, the cost, the implementation, process, what training was involved. And I mean, I looked at everything. I've studied everything beyond belief. I spend a lot of time, still studying it all. But the thing that I found, and again, my background is software. This isn't my first company. I was really surprised when I did that, kind of deep dive into all the existing solutions. And this was back in 2018 when I first started this and ran the construction company. Was there's a ton out there, but I could tell that it was very antiquated. A lot of the stuff that is kind of the biggest market leaders right now are essentially very very antiquated. I don't know how else to say it, hard to use. They been started 10, 15, 20 years ago, and technology has just evolved so quickly that, we have the advantage of kind of coming in and learning from everything that already existed, and just leveraging modern technology, making it easy to use, extremely fast, responsive. And so, and then essentially we're coming in and we're undercutting everyone on price, making this thing extremely affordable. It's $199 a month. Then plus $20 for additional users. We offer an annual discount. So, we're certainly undercutting the competition. Our biggest competitors are at $1,300 a month for the same feature set. And so, it's given us, kind of a unique advantage to be able to learn from everything out there. And, I'm all about the competition. I think it's great to have competition. We can sort of one up each other and keep kind of looking at what each other's doing. But at the end of the day, we think we've built the best product and, made it easy to use and very affordable.
Awesome, man. So guys, we're going to get to some questions in a little bit for Eric here in a minute. But Eric, I wanted to talk about, you mentioned the word scaling earlier. Those who want to scale your business, guys, type in the box, yes or no. Do you want to scale your business? Yes or no? Come on, give us some love.
Occasionally I find the person who will say no, they're happy just kind of, family run business, just, sitting there, kind of making whatever they make and, doing good, not wanting to grow too much, but, I'm a big, man, I'm all about scaling, man. You got to build it, making more money, without, you can work smarter, not harder though, to be able to scale it. And so I think that's the neat thing. Luckily here, everybody's saying yes. So that's awesome.
Yeah. And guys, listen, scaling could mean just, you want to be making more money than just getting by, right? I mean, you scale your business to where you got repeatable systems in place. And one of the things we say a lot of times here in the contractor fight is I'd rather make a easy dollar than a hard two. So, and when you scale right, that's really what happens. So guys, when you want to scale, what you will find, what we found in the fight and other businesses that I've owned through the years is Eric, one of the most overwhelming things when it comes to scaling that most people don't understand or appreciate fully is the challenges that come with communicating with your clients. The more clients you have, the more avenues there are to communicate. I mean, I've had it in the past where I have a conversation on a DM, I have a text, several on each, right? I've got emails, there's social media tags, there's forms on the website, there's, apps like Bonjoro that I use a lot for video stuff and all these other things. It's hard to keep track of these things. Now, I'm a very different business than most of the GCs and people that are on here right now. But guys, scale of 1 to 10, where is your frustration level? 10 being I'm ready to pull my face off and throw it against the wall. And 1 being 0 stress at all. Where's your frustration level when it comes to keeping up with client communication? Just type it in the box for us. Give us a sense what's going on here.
It's a great question.
Yeah. And while they're doing that, Eric, what are some of the challenges that you've seen? Yeah, we got some 4s, 2s, 8s, got an 8. Okay. Got some 6s. Yeah. I mean, some of these are coming in 4 to 6. Guys, if you're not like, honestly, if you're not like an 8 or above, you got work to do, or should I say, if you're not below a 2,
no,
because I flipped it, right? I flipped it. So if you're not a 2 or below, you got some work to do because there are lower friction ways to do this. And I know, Eric, you've kind of built some things out within the platform to make client communication real easy, but what are you seeing as a lot of the challenges that you're hearing from people?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just kind of the whole being transparent with the customer. Obviously you already talked about, kind of multiple avenues of communication, trying to field it, from phone calls to text messages to emails to, to Facebook. A lot of times expectations, if your expectations are misaligned, then it can be frustrating, for both the project manager and the customer. Changing requirements, so again, not everything is going to be set in stone, and sometimes you have to adapt. And so, whenever there's, confusion or there can be disagreement about, the project scope and the timeline, that can obviously be very challenging. I mean, with construction, right? I mean, there's the whole technical aspect of it, which some clients, very often probably aren't going to understand all the terminology and the jargon, that may go into, kind of communicating around construction projects. And so that can make it difficult for them to understand what's happening. Obviously people have different communication styles too. Some people, kind of very, very short and brief and to the point. Other people like to, kind of have it spelled out for them. So being able to kind of have a, communication style agreement, if you will, but just time constraints can make it challenging. I mean, if you're on real tight deadlines, and it can be tough for the contractor to stop and take the time to communicate with the with the homeowner. I mean, that can obviously make it tough.
Yeah. I know many years ago with our painting business, we were doing between 300 and 400 projects a year. And I wish I had something like this at the time. This was in the early 2000s. And that was one place where we could keep track of it all, because I might have a conversation, or my operations guy, my business partner might have a conversation, our office manager might have a conversation, and it would be good to have those things in front of you each time you're revisiting. But the other thing, this is fresh in my brain. I was on a coaching call today with somebody I'm working with, and we were talking about the importance of giving just something as simple as daily updates to the client, like, hey, where we're at with things and what the plan is for tomorrow. And doing it, like I said, a way that, you can keep track, and you can, like, let's just fast forward and say the client had a shitty experience with you and they didn't feel like you communicated well. You could literally go into your platform and you could pinpoint, hey, Billy, the crew leader, dude, you didn't give daily updates. That's why they were pissed off at us. Right. So next job, let's make sure we're doing this. So guys, there's so many reasons to, that point to the importance of communication. Guys, type in the box right now. Type in the chat box why you think it's important to have stellar communication with your clients. And Eric, I know you got some thoughts on this too.
Oh yeah.
What do you guys got? Why is it important? What are some reasons that come to mind? I definitely have one main reason that I'll share if nobody else shares it, but
I love seeing all the JobTread
builds
users
trust. Okay, builds trust, premium experience, easier to do my job. They expect it, so people won't be sitting in the dark. Less confusion. So guys, here's, and you're all right, by the way. Probably the number one complaint that people have with contractors is we're shitty communicators. Okay. And I don't think we're shitty communicators because we're bad people and we're shitty people. I believe we're shitty communicators because, number one, we don't have it drilled into our head that this is low-hanging fruit to differentiate, right? So guys, you want to sell more, you want more repeat business, more referrals, things like that. Be the best communicator in your industry. Okay. Then beyond that, I think we don't do it because, Eric, we don't have a tool to do it that makes it simple. Like, if you got 100 boards to cut, you probably want to use a power tool and not a handsaw.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
And so, Eric has created this to where there's, it's just a low pain in the ass factor to do it. And so, Eric, what did we miss? What did people not type in the box there that you might add to that about why?
No, I mean, I think
strength.
These are certainly all great points. I mean, at the end of the day, like I'm a big believer in just from the very beginning of your relationship with the homeowner or your customer, it's so important that, you establish that you're going to have a strong, communication and have a strong relationship built with them, and I think at the end of the day, like, people are going to buy from people that they like and that they feel like they're easy to work with, so being extremely responsive is probably the number one, thing that I think you can do, along with being, very clear in your communication and detailed. It's going to help you build that trust, to create that strong working relationship with the lead, or with your customer, and that'll really foster that collaborative, productive relationship where the client feels that their needs are being heard, that they're being addressed. It's going to help you establish, or really manage, I guess, the expectations, at the beginning and throughout the entire process. And that's going to, minimize the likelihood of misunderstandings or, disappointment. It's going to help, just ensure that the final outcome is that, the client feels like their needs have been met, and again, there could be issues, there will be challenges that will come up. And, by being able to have that strong communication, it's going to let you, or help you identify, but more importantly, be able to resolve, those challenges, throughout the project, instead of waiting until the very end and then finding out that the customer's not happy about, something that, you could have addressed earlier on. And then, it might've been, taking you half the time to fix it. It'll shorten the delays too. So again, if there is an issue, being able to address it right away is so important. And, at the end of the day though, like, when clients feel like they're engaged in the process, that they're being listened to, they're more likely to be satisfied with the outcome, and that's going to lead to more positive, referrals, that word of mouth, the positive reviews, and so it's so important that you do, establish that communication channel, and that, the customer knows how they can either, find the answers to their questions. Again, we have a whole customer portal that we can talk about here in a second, but like, it's just so important that they know what, are the lines of communication. How can I, get my questions answered? What's the best process? Who's the best person? Keeping that, in one place can be very, very helpful. But yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, man, communication can make or break, how the customer feels about the project overall. If they feel like they've just been kind of left to the side and they're not kept up to date with the progress, and, they're basically asked at the very end, well, are you satisfied? Your chances of that being a positive experience and then being satisfied are, probably drastically less than if you went throughout the project. Cause, again, when things are going to come up, there are going to be issues, but it's all about how you handle that and how you address it. And, I think it's just so important to kind of have that strong communication throughout the entire project.
Yeah. You touched on, you guys, if you're paying attention, you heard Eric use the word, how they feel, the phrase, how they feel. That is the experience. Most of you do a phenomenal job with the actual work that you do, but to be a game-changing, elite performing, profitable company that scales, builds the shit out of your brand, makes you the only and obvious choice for people to work with, is going to be, how do people feel? Do they feel respected? And I've personally found that when I made that a priority many years ago, how we communicate and how we stay engaged with our clients, that makes all the difference beyond the actual work that you're delivering. So great feedback in the comments here, guys. So Eric, how about you show us under the hood here a little, man?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Do you have an option to present there at the bottom?
I believe I do.
All right, cool. Hopefully you do, because I don't know how to give it to you.
I think I got something here.
All right. So guys, Eric's going to get a little demo in here, give some tips on how to keep your clients engaged, feeling the love. And then we'll open it up for some questions here. What's that?
Can you guys, can everyone see my screen here?
I don't see anything. I have a button at the bottom that says present.
Yeah, I hit the present.
So let me see if I can make you.
It says it's sharing my screen.
No, we don't see it.
Let's see.
Up here, I got to add it to the stream. There it is. Okay, cool. It was on. It was my fault. I had to add it. I didn't see it at the bottom there. There you go. So we got some full screen mode here.
Awesome. Yeah. So, I mean, this is JobTread here. This is kind of the contractor view. So, I'll probably actually switch over to the customer portal view. The neat thing about it, and I can go ahead and preview what this looks like. But, again, I just wanted to kind of share that, like, a lot of this is based on permissions. And so you can decide how much and what information that you want to share with the, with the homeowner. Just kind of gives you some controls over that. So, they don't have to see everything. They're certainly not going to see, your profits and, kind of your full, budgets there. It just kind of what information you want to share. But this is what we call that customer portal. Again, all the information that they're privy to, is going to be here in a feed. And so this is where they can, essentially ask questions. You're able to respond to that. As the job goes on, additional information will be shared throughout here. They can see all of the proposals, the change orders, everything that has been sent to them that, they either need to approve or, maybe, right now I see I got one pending change order. This gives them all that information in one place, as well as their invoices, so they can make their payments, kind of see where they're at, financially, all of that. The selections, allowances, is a really neat tool that we've got coming up here. That we got some really awesome updates. The schedule. So you got a bunch of different ways that the customer can view the schedule. I'm not a big fan of showing every single detail. But more so kind of the high level. The progress that we've made on each of these different sections. When exactly they should expect us to be on site. Is more important than every single to do, within each of these. And so, they can see kind of the, everything in green's, been 100% completed. So we got this electrical that, looks like we're behind. So that's in red, blue is everything that's coming up, but they can essentially see the high level kind of percentage, the milestone. They've also got the ability to see it on a, calendar, week view, day view, all of that. But like, some people, if you want to share every single to do, every single task, you can. I think that does maybe open it up a little bit too much, where the customer might try to micromanage the project.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a balance. Now, if you don't want to show the schedule at all, that's fine. But you can even assign the customers, task, and then they would see those specific tasks. Examples of that might be like, when they need to make their selections, things like that. All of the daily logs. Tom, you're talking about that earlier about how beneficial it can be to essentially at the end of every day, share with the customer where they're at, kind of what, take some progress photos, so that they feel like they're part of the process and that they're more engaged, as opposed to just kind of waiting until the very end here. Now, what I'll say though, with that being said, like, a lot of times if you've got multiple trades or multiple crews, and typically you might have that on larger projects, they may be all submitting their daily logs to you. And so my advice would be, instead of sharing all the daily logs, this is an opportunity for you to kind of curate, one combination of all of the best kind of feedback and updates that you want to share with the customer. And you could curate one and then just share that one instead of sharing all of them. Some things are meant to be kept internal. Some things can be, obviously shared external. But there's also like a whole bunch, like you can build out the whole form and ask a bunch of questions for the guys submitting these daily logs, but you don't necessarily have to share all of that data either with the customer. It's up to you how much information you want to share. Same thing with the files, the photos. Again, you can tag everything and decide if I want to share all the files, in photos, or if I just want to share certain ones that I've tagged with, customer or client or, completion. Kind of however you want to set those up. But again, everything in here is permission based. So you get to decide how much access the customer is going to have, for each of these. And, oftentimes with all of this, like, they can come in here and they can ask, questions, where will the red brick go, or, whatever it is, they can come in and they can ask questions, that are then going to notify you as the, as the contractor. And so you'll be able to go in and respond to that, which is pretty neat there.
So that was the next question I had was, if I'm the homeowner and I come home at night and you guys are gone and I can take a picture of something, upload it, and ask a question about it.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, cool. Love that.
I think the other, another cool thing too, and I have this other job here where I was going to show you this. So this is a little sneak peek of what's coming out, later this month, where this is our kind of dedicated selections and allowances section. Where basically you can come in and you can set due dates for all the different selections that need to be made. And then they're going to be able to just have these kind of these particular selections documents where, maybe they're picking the granite or picking the countertops here in this example. This gives them the ability to, to ask questions. This one, hey, we're thinking about the white quartz, would that be a good option? Kind of just gives you that opportunity to respond and address, questions directly within this. But the neat thing I like about this is that you're also giving control to the homeowner, where they can essentially make their selections, but they're controlling their budget. So they go make all these selections and, they're $20,000 over budget, instead of haggling the contractor to get a discount or something like that, it's, hey, if you can't afford that, that's fine. But like, let's get you in, with the things that you can afford. And so, I think that this will be, really neat, addition here. But yeah.
Good shit. So, do you have any sense, I don't mean for this question to put you on the spot if it's something you haven't built into this. So, but I'm just curious, do you have any sense of what percentage of customers engage with this, with your clients, your users?
Oh, I mean, I'd say probably nearly all of them. The way that we've kind of built this out is that, whenever you're essentially, sending out, let's say, this proposal or whatever document it is, whenever you're generating this and sending these out, the first time that you send a document to a customer, or what we call recipients here, that's essentially going to give them access automatically to that document as well as to the job. Again, it's only what you're sharing with them. But the whole key is that we're making it very easy for the customers to become engaged. That they don't have to download an app. They don't have to create a username or password or anything. Whenever they get, sent something, whenever any content, whether it's a task, a file, a photo, a document, whatever it may be, it's going to basically give them, kind of like a magic link, if you will, that has the authentication built into it. So all they have to do is click it and boom, like whatever device they click that on, whether it's an iPhone or an Android or a tablet or, a PC or Mac, like they're just instantly taken to that, piece of content right there in the customer portal. And so, again, it's very easy for them to become engaged, and then they start to see the other things that they can interact on. But my guess would be, 95% or more of the customers do engage with the customers, just because it is, sort of built into the entire platform where they can reply to, comments and they see the whole threads and everything like that. It's just kind of part of it, right?
Yeah. I mean, guys, think about this from the client experience, right? Having access to this info. I mean, my guess is maybe 1 out of 100 contractors do this. Okay. I'm making that number up, but I just get a sense, because I have obviously conversations with contractors every single day, and I guarantee you, well over 90% of them are not implementing something like this. And so, and remember, when the job is done, the kitchen is built, whatever, they're going to remember how they felt through the process. Did they feel respected? Did they feel that they were not that somebody typed in there earlier, like clients feel like they're in the dark a lot of times with a contractor. They don't know what's coming next and all these different things. They don't know why you didn't show up today. And if you go, hey, like I saw that you have like a weather forecast on there. So if you see it's shitty weather, you could send a quick note to all your customers if you're working outside or whatever, and just say, hey, be mindful of the fact that, due to the weather, we may or may not show up on Tuesday when the snowstorm is supposed to come or whatever it is, and we'll let you know.
To that point, Tom, like I think one of the coolest things that I've seen is that, that this, by sharing, in particular kind of the schedule, it just, you're transparent and you're helping the customer know when to expect you. And, again, it's when you give them a tool, to self-service, it cuts down on so many calls and text to your project managers, asking when you're going to be there, why you're not there, who's coming out today. Like, you give them that tool and you give them that ability to find the answers themselves. It's so important, and it really helps you to scale the business. By sharing that. And, again, sure, weather delays will happen. You just literally shift the entire schedule out, and, you can notify the customer if you want, or just, again, that they'll be able to see that, super, super helpful. I do see, I see there are a couple questions over here where, again, can you do estimates and invoicing? Yes, absolutely. Can you put optional upgrades on the proposal? Yeah, that's, you can have these selections where they have to pick one, or they could pick, 2, or they could pick 0 to 5, or like you can set kind of the minimum selection and the maximum. If you say there's 0 minimum, then that's basically just an optional upgrade. But again, the neat thing is, as they're making their selections, it's updating the totals, in real time. So you can see kind of what that, the base, which is the things that they can't, select or control. And then you've got your selections there, is everything that they did select. The other neat thing that, that you can also see is, whenever the proposal was, you can see that it was sent, or it was delivered, it was opened, the proposal was viewed, when it was signed, and you may need to have multiple people engaged with this. Like, in some states, you got to have both the husband and the wife. If they're co-owners of the property, they may both need to be signatories on these documents. And so, whether it's, one person or multiple people that need to be engaged in this process, and you need to collect those signatures, you can do that as well.
Yeah, I think, again, this is another thing based on this coaching call I had today with this guy. We used to have, this is why I'm saying, like, I wish we had this 17 years ago, or whatever the hell it is now, 18 years ago.
Yeah.
Sometimes we would have a project fall through the cracks where we would go start it and we didn't have a signature. Maybe it was a past customer, or we would get a signature, but we didn't get a deposit and things like that. And so this is a good check and balance to go, okay, we're about to, whoever's in charge of your operations, you guys could pull this up and go, hey, we're missing a signature. We're missing, an approval on this change order. And you can communicate to that, your team, so that your team doesn't get hijacked in the field going, hey, Eric said you guys were doing this, and you could just pull it up and go, hey, I need your signature on this thing. Okay.
Man, it's so funny.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, that exact situation happened to us time and time again at the construction company I was running. It was, a good old buddy. We had a relationship. We did a little back of the envelope. And like, you just assume that they're going to pay you, and then push come to shove, though, you do all the work, and then you go submit your invoice, and someone else in the in the billing office. Oh, well, wait, we didn't have an agreement on here. We didn't have a contract, and now you got to go do a bunch of jumping through hoops and trying to get it approved. Now I'm thinking specifically about some commercial work that we did that we had that challenge with. But you're right. It's so important to just make sure that you collect all the right documentation up front.
Awesome. So guys, I'm going to scroll back up here, Eric, and catch up to a couple questions here that came in. Somebody asked, and guys, we'll open it up for Q&A. So if you got them, go ahead and type them in there. Let's see. John wants to know, what is the difference between your platform versus like Builder, Trend, and other CRMs?
Yeah. Again, I'd say it's, just a little bit easier to use, easier to learn and adopt. You can probably immediately tell the difference between our UI and, some of those other, again, I felt like a lot of the software that I looked at, back when I was debating, whether to implement something on our own or to, kind of to end up building out ours. It just, again, very, very antiquated UI. I'd say ours is extremely fast too. So, if you probably notice when I click around, things just instantly load. You're not sitting there waiting, and it's just a hell of a lot more affordable. We see a lot of the bigger, kind of players out there who have been around. I mean, especially if they're, if they're no longer, owned and controlled by individuals, they might have, institutional capital or private equity behind them. It's all about the profits for them at this point. And so that's why we've seen such big price hikes from some of them over the last year or so. Again, our goal is to get this into tens of thousands of contractors' hands, and we plan to do that, and we're doing it at, by keeping that price point extremely low and affordable to any size contractor.
Love it. Golden Key wants to know, where do you input the selections from? Can you just direct link from the website of suppliers?
Yeah, so you do have the ability to build them out on the fly. We essentially have this catalog over here where this is where you can basically build out. If a lot of different people or different kind of companies will either have kind of predefined selection options that they may want to provide to people, or sometimes you may just want to give them the ability to write in or submit their own, kind of their own materials that they want to go out and find and come back. And so one of the really neat updates that we've got coming out this week, and we've always had the ability to have those interactive selections and you can set allowances, but the big update this week is that essentially you're going to now be able to tie an allowance to a selection group. But if you wanted to give the homeowner the ability to kind of write in their own we're not going to let them like set the, the price, that would basically go back to you for approval. And then you can, go look at that link and figure out what it would cost. Cause obviously, you need to make your profit on top of, whatever you may be selling them as well. But it's something that, has been added to the platform, which we're really excited to enable them to do. I do get asked a lot, if like there's a way to kind of like, provide a link and have it go kind of like, scrape that website and grab all that data. We don't currently have that in there, but they can essentially share and post the link to you, and then you can go and flush out what it would cost for you to be able to deliver on that selection.
Cool. Facebook user asks, does it auto-generate line items that suggest median national average costs?
Yeah, so we don't currently pull in that. I'm aware and familiar with a handful of systems out there, that basically they have kind of the average cost pegged to one location, and then what they do is they use a cost of living adjustment factor to essentially scale it up or down. I've just heard time and time again that those are highly inaccurate, and so at the end of the day, like we're really big on know your numbers, know your costs. Every single city, even within the same cities, like what you pay your guys is specific to your business. And so you need to know, what your hourly rate is, what your daily rate is, what you're paying for materials. I mean, depending on who you're buying those materials from. I mean, if you go to, your Home Depot versus, if you go to a distributor where, maybe you've got, different pricing levels based on your volume. There's so many factors that come into play that, we essentially have kind of made it where, you do need to put in your own cost, and we don't pull in national averages. You can certainly get those, you can buy those cost books, you can import those into JobTread. Like, if that's what you want to do and that's how you want to run it, by all means you can import that, but we don't have that kind of automatically pulling in just because we feel like it's important that, you know your own numbers.
Yeah, I'm glad you shared that, because you guys, and I don't know who asked the question, just as Facebook user. So, and I don't mean to pick on this person, but bottom line is I give two shits what the going rate is. You guys, 90% or more of contractors don't know their numbers. So when we're collecting these types of things, you go on right now, what's the average cost of a kitchen remodel? You're going to get Home Advisor and Angie's and BobVila.com and HomeWise and all these other sites that have no fucking clue, okay, what things really cost, because they got some doesn't know shit person right out of college who has a shitty marketing degree, that's just curating information that is not profitable. You guys understand what I'm saying there? Like, the worst thing you can do in business is to give a shit what the going rate is. Okay. So don't ever forget that. Seriously. Juan says, I would like to have marketing with JobTread, like auto emails send to clients 30 days or after, or 12 months after job complete, to touch base and ask if they have any issues.
Yep. No, that's, we hear that often, Juan. We don't currently have kind of like a lot of the email marketing or the campaign management type stuff that you might get from, from like a HubSpot. But what we do have is the ability for you to integrate. I was actually just working with a customer this last week where he was essentially setting up all of those email reminders and text messages to go out. We're integrated with Zapier, which is kind of like like an integration hub, if you will. And so Zapier has the ability to send out emails, both text-based and HTML, send out text messages. And so, he essentially, kind of defines some triggers at what points in the process he wants those emails to go out. And so he was able to set that up. The neat thing about Zapier is it's pretty much free, until you hit a certain threshold, and then it's like, maybe $20 a month or something like that. So it's a phenomenal tool. We're happy to show you how to set that up. We just don't currently have that natively built into JobTread. Maybe one day, but again, we're really staying very focused right now on the job management, and kind of building out your budgets and proposals and everything that you might need from a project management standpoint.
Time out. Coaching lesson. And it's being modeled here by Eric, you guys. Some of the questions that you've asked that Eric says, no, we don't do that, at least as of today, are not because those things might not be good ideas. Okay. But it's every business has to know their lane. They got to stay in their lane. You know, for Eric, and I've had this conversation with many software companies. That's why I'm going to use this example. The email marketing game and all that is a much different animal on the back end of what needs to happen, you guys. Okay. You got issues with if things aren't sent a certain way, you have deliverability issues. You have email deliverability where it goes to spam and shit like that. Or worse, you get flagged by the powers that be and they shut your accounts down. And so it's simply just Eric, correct me if I'm wrong, but you got to just go, this is what we do best. It's like the contractor fight, you guys. We do group coaching and live events the best. Okay. Better than anyone else on planet Earth in our space. Okay. So, and the only one-on-one coaching we do in the contractor fight is with me, and I take on 2 to 3 clients a year, and it's over 6 figures to work with me personally one-on-one for the year. And I work with your whole team. So, because there's always going to be a thing like everything's a good idea. Oh, we could add this and we can add this. And what that does is it pulls you off your focus. So like if some of you that are remodelers, one of the things we coach on a lot of times, Eric, is, you know, a lot of guys are remodelers. And I go, well, what do you do? And they're like, we do anything. And I'm like, okay, but what do you, if you had to clone a certain type of job that you can knock out of the park every time, high profit, easy to deliver, blah, blah, blah. What is it? Oh, it would be bathrooms. Okay. Then go all in on bathrooms and do what you do best, or whatever it might be, siding or whatever it is, you guys. Okay. One of the biggest enemies of any business growing and scaling, especially profits, is shiny object syndrome. Okay. I mean, Eric, right now, if I said, everybody share an idea of what JobTread would have, we'll probably have 150 ideas. Right. But I'm just saying this, you guys, it's at some point, every business has to go, no, where we're at right now in our business, this is our lane. And I think that's what you guys have done really well. Another thing, and I'll get back to the questions here in a minute, is you've said several times since we've been on this thing, one of the things that we're about to release, one of the things that we're updating, one of the modifications, I just want to point out maybe the obvious that maybe not everyone heard. Dude, what I love about you guys, you're always making this better, right? You're always doing shit. Since I've known you for about 2 years now. I mean, well, in the last 2 years, how many tweaks have you made to this platform to make it better? I mean, what's your sense for that?
Well, I would have to come over to the help desk here and look at the what's new and go through and start counting all these. But we do publish a full change log of everything that's happening. But you're absolutely right. I mean, one of the cool things too that we recently released is this whole feature request board. You know, because we were getting so many feature requests, but like this is so important, right? Like, you know, it's all about, you know, collaborating with our customers. And so, you know, basically we have this tool in here where they can come in and we can even sort it by popularity. And so again, number one feature request, and we just rolled this out at the beginning of the year here, was, you know, selections and allowances. And so we essentially have been focused on that. And so, you know, it's a really neat way to allow our customers to provide that feedback, and then others can go, you know, upvote it. And so that helps us to prioritize our development, because at the end of the day, like we want to make sure that we're building, you know, the features and making the enhancements that are going to make the biggest impact, you know, to the majority of our customer base. And, you know, I think that this is just a really unique way that we go about tracking it, because that just makes my life a lot easier as a product manager, and tells me exactly who I can go reach out to get more feedback or let them go do testing. Like this entire demo I've been doing today is actually on a staging server, kind of showing the selections update. You know, and so it's a neat way to, you know, to engage with our customers and be able to collaboratively develop this together. Which is really neat. That's what this whole selections here, you know, you could always do this, but now it's kind of broken out into its own section there. You know, when you go in and you create a selection, you can also tie it to an allowance. And so, you know, maybe, you know, when you put out that, you know, you gave them an allowance for their countertops, and then they can come in and they can make selections, and it'll either, you know, overrun that allowance, you know, where essentially it's automatic change order, or, you know, maybe they don't use it all, and then you can decide if you want to give it back or pocket it, or, you know, shift it to something else. But I think that is definitely one of the things that I hear from our customers. A lot of the time is just how we listen, and we're continually improving the product. We've built a very strong foundation that allows us to very rapidly develop and enhance, and it's something that we do in collaboration with our customers.
Awesome. All right, couple more questions. A Facebook user asks, we currently use QuickBooks. Does JobTread offer tax and payroll reports? Is it sort of a one-stop shop for estimating, invoicing, running payroll, paying vendor and subs, payroll, tax, paying services?
Yeah, so we do directly integrate with both QuickBooks Online and QuickBooks Desktop. All of your, from a payroll standpoint, so all of your time entries, you can see these are pulled in right here. You can, basically, let's say if I wanted to, view all my time from last week or, last month or whatever it is, everything green has been approved, but maybe I need to find all my unapproved hours. So we can see, here's all my unapproved hours from last month, or last week or whatever it is. And whenever you approve those in JobTread, that does automatically push into your QuickBooks, all of those hours. From a 1099 or subcontractor standpoint, basically you're essentially able to enter their bills into JobTread, and then those will also push into your QuickBooks, and it queues it up for your bill pay to go through there. Another really neat update that we rolled out just last week. So now we can actually pull back in from QuickBooks if you are, logging any of your expenses directly into QuickBooks, like, maybe your credit cards and from Home Depot account or whatever it may be. All of that can now pull back into JobTread, which is really neat. Before that, we essentially had kind of all of the invoices and the bills being pushed into JobTread, and then just the payment. So as soon as you make that bill pay, or if you received let's say a check in the mail and you marked it as paid over there, that would automatically come back into JobTread. But now you've got the option to also pull in any other expenses that are directly logged into QuickBooks. At the end of the day, though, we're not necessarily able to replace a full accounting solution. You're still going to want all of your financial reporting from your P&L, your bank statements, your kind of balance sheet, all of your taxes and reporting. I mean, you're still going to need, to have have an accounting system in place. I highly recommend it. And having a strong bookkeeper, whether it's someone on your team or you outsource that, like, it's so important. Yep. Just get your books in order and manage them. JobTread will help you better understand how you're performing on jobs, so you don't necessarily have to kind of do all of the job, reporting and performances and all that from QuickBooks anymore. But it's at least gonna kind of have that ultimate kind of accounting tool. I do believe you're still going to want that, and need that.
Awesome. Is this in any other languages?
So we do have support for different currencies. You can have kind of all sorts of different currencies around the world. It currently, though, the platform is just in English, but your browser can essentially translate. If you have your browser set up to translate, you can input any content in any language as well. But I will say, kind of the caveat is, like, trying to translate everything, from English to other languages, it doesn't always, fully translate, or make total sense. So at this point, we haven't tried to kind of internationalize it, from kind of a UI standpoint. I do anticipate at some point we will. We do have customers all over the world, in probably 7 or 8 countries. But the menus are still in English.
Well, you're only a few years old too, so let's give it time, right? There you go.
My last company, we did end up doing it. It is a whole nother set of challenges, to internationalize software. It can make support as well even more challenging as well, when they're writing in saying they're trying to do something and you have no idea what that what that something is. You can only imagine the challenges there as well.
There you go. So Eric, before we get out of here, let me ask you this. Somebody goes to your website, jobtread.com, right?
Yep.
Okay. and they, what happens next? If somebody's interested in talking to you guys, what's that look like? And then part two, they go, hell yeah, I got to have this. How do they get up to speed with it?
Yeah, I mean, so basically, they come to our website. If you'd like, there's tons of videos and content all over the website, as well as on YouTube, Facebook. But you can come in here at any time and schedule a demo. So our sales team, is available to do a one-on-one, kind of walk you through it, make sure it's going to be a good fit for your business. Definitely, great option to really kind of take the time to explore the solution. As soon as you're ready to sign up, though, you just hit the sign up button. It's a quick form. This will create your account. Again, you want to make sure you choose either the monthly or if you want to do the annual. I recommend to people, look, get in there, start off monthly. At any time you can upgrade to the annual. But the benefit of the monthly is that you do have a 30-day money back guarantee. So, for whatever reason you feel like it's not a good fit for you, it's month to month. You can cancel at any time. We'll even refund your money if you're not happy. So I'd say start off monthly, get in there, try it out, but then, directly from the billing page, you can upgrade to the annual and, get that cost savings. But everything's a ton of info on our website, fully transparent. You can come in here and, you can even type in, this will help you, let's say you wanted to have, 5 users, it'll tell you what your monthly price or your annual with your savings would be. The thing to note, though, we only charge for internal users. So like typically just like your employees, and we feel that this is the best pricing model because, a lot of the systems out there will kind of only give you certain features. They don't give you full access to the platform unless you're paying, on the top tier. Everything that we develop, I mean, I want all of my resources, our developers and our project managers, product managers, like, everything that we're doing, we want to make sure that we're doing it for the greater good of all of our customer base. And so, but there does have to be kind of one lever, right? And so our lever is the number of internal users. All of your subcontractors, your vendors, your customers, those are what we call external users. Those are unlimited. Those are free. But this way, for a company who has, 3 employees, that they shouldn't pay the same thing as a company with 30 or with 300. And so we feel like the tiered pricing based on the number of users is the right way to go. There are price breaks as well. So as you add more, basically drops down, $5 per each additional 10 user, so 20 and then 15, 10 and 5. So that's kind of how our pricing works. But, all the features, everything that we add, it's all included, unlimited jobs, documents, files. We'll help you import your data or migrate over from other systems. All the implementation, training, support, that's also included in the product here, which is I'd say pretty unique. We don't want to nickel and dime you. We're not trying to charge you extra for anything. We want to help you. We genuinely want to work with you to help you get up to speed. And we have this help desk over here, which essentially it's got all these, kind of resources that are available to you. There's a whole getting started program that'll walk you through, depending on if you want to walk and, get it set up over 2 weeks, or maybe you want to sprint and do it in a week, or if you want to crawl through it, we can do it over the course of a month. It's all of the same steps. It walks you through getting everything set up. But I think one of the coolest things we've done lately is we've implemented this live trainings. So basically every single day we have 2 to 3, live trainings that are being, conducted by Anna Hunter on our team. Actually, Dr. Anna Hunter. She has a PhD in organizational change management. She's been with us from nearly the very beginning. Phenomenal resource, very, very good at training and walking people through and helping you get up to speed. But beyond that, we've also got all these, video walkthroughs, kind of help you learn the, just little tutorials to help you there. But every single customer, you've got a dedicated customer success manager. So they're here to help, coach you along the way to make sure that you're maximizing your JobTread and that you're getting it set up, and that, any questions that you have, like we genuinely, we want to work with you. We want to help you, be able to get JobTread up and going as fast as possible. And so, it's a really great resource as well. And again, we've helped implement over 1,000 contractors on this. We've seen it all, and so being able to tap into them and help and kind of have them review how your processes are working, or how you're setting up your catalogs, or how you're running your budgets or your templates or whatever it may be. They're a great resource, and we don't charge extra for any of this. It's all included in your subscription.
Love it. Love it. Last question here. Is there categories subject to the size of business? Not sure I understand that totally.
Subject to the size of business. Not sure I understand that either. Again, it's the if we're talking about kind of pricing, maybe they're talking about kind of the different tiers. Everything, again, all of the features are included. It's just based on the number of internal users that you want to have, and essentially the internal users have some additional permissions. They can see a lot more, they can create a lot more content, versus those external users. Those are the clients, the homeowners, the subs, the vendors. They're able to use the customer and the vendor portal, but they can't create a bunch of content. They can complete tasks, they can upload photos, they can sign off on things, have conversations, but they're not coming in and managing the budget. They're not sending out purchase orders and work orders and approving bills and invoices and things like that. That's restricted to the internal users.
Yep. So guys, we talk a lot about job costing here in the fight. It's important to know where you're at and where you want to go. And if you're up to date, I'll just tell you that the several users that are in our Battleground program that use this program, they have nothing but good things to say, where if you are consistent with entering your stuff in the way Eric and the team will train you to, you got it connected to QuickBooks, all those different things. Guys, you push a couple buttons and you're getting a job report. If you want to know exactly how you did on that deck you did for Reber or whatever, you could push a button and look at that. Eric's, I think, sharing it right now. So, but this is the job cost report. So what are we looking at here?
So this is just a summary over your entire business. You can come in here and say, how did I perform, last year, this year, maybe this month, how am I tracking this month, and so it'll kind of break it down. This is all just kind of demo data, but you can see exactly where you're at. This is your AR. So, again, are you collecting all your invoices? Where are you owed money? Just kind of gives you some different reports that are all available in here.
Awesome. Yeah, guys. I mean, it's a, I guess the definition of a good tool is that it helps you do things more efficiently and more profitably, right, guys? So this is a good tool. I encourage you guys to go to jobtread.com, and I'm going to drop the link here. Hold on. There we go. And let me grab it. Probably would have been easier to type it, but that's okay. There we go. So I just dropped it in the comments for you. Head there, schedule a demo, have a conversation. Eric, last chance, anything that I should have asked you that I didn't, or any other points you want to make before we roll?
I just think, what we've built here, again, I've been part of the contractor fight for a long time. I've learned a tremendous amount from working with you, Tom, and from your organization. And so, we've really tried to, essentially provide that tool to help you manage your numbers, help you hit those target profit margins. Like you said earlier, you just plug in your 50%, as long as you know your cost, we will automatically calculate the price for you. I've seen, hundreds and hundreds of contractors who have been able to scale their business. They've been able to stop, those little bleeders, those, all of those jobs where you're not, managing your job cost and you're not, maybe you're using markup instead of margin to price it. Like, there's so many ways that this can help uncover, just places where you're just hemorrhaging money and you may not even know it. So at the end of the day, it's really neat that I think that this is very complementary to, what you guys are coaching in the contractor fight and in Battleground. It's a great tool to help you, make sure that you're hitting those target profit margins, because you can. I see it all across the country. I see contractors charging 50% profit margin. It is absolutely 100% doable. Obviously, kind of different, size of jobs and types of jobs can come into play here. But as a general rule, you can do it. You just have to make sure that you budget it and you accept the right jobs, you qualify them the right way. And, I think that using a tool like JobTread will really help you do that.
Awesome. Well, dude, I appreciate you being part of the fight. I know we do a lot of things together, and it's cool. We have the common mission to help contractors stop stealing from their families and make more fucking money. and scale their businesses profitably, not just on a hamster wheel, that goes over and over. What I appreciate, which is one of the reasons that you're here, is I appreciate the fact how you guys walk with people through implementing this thing. You don't just sell it and walk away, and guys, this another just kind of coaching point. When you create affiliate partnerships or relationships, influencer relationships, whatever you want to talk about in your business, make sure you're aligned culturally and on those values. Okay. You partner, and I use partner like we're in business partners here, just to be clear, guys, but we refer and they refer us, and we help one another and recommend each other and things like that. I want to make sure that, if we're going to put our name on something, and Eric as well, that, there's that alignment there. There's a lot of problems that happen when I see people chase what they think is a big opportunity, and it ends up backfiring on them because they're not aligned at the core level. So guys, just keep that in mind. One last thing I want to share real quick here. Hopefully, there we go. Share that. And I got to add it to the stream, unless you can see it, right? You guys can see that. So guys, at the bottom of the screen, you'll see, join me in Florida. The fight team, we're going to be in Panama City, Florida, end of April. We've got Mike Michalowicz, who's author, entrepreneur, speaker guy. He's been a friend of the fight for many years. He is going to be doing a workshop. So go to that domain if you are interested in checking that out. And then the other thing I want to make sure, guys, here to close us out is, you guys still see my screen, by the way? Probably. Yeah. No. Yep. There you go. It should update. That's why. Stop sharing. See, I'm technically challenged on this thing, Eric. See, this is why I don't build software. So, boom, there we go. Guys, go to JobTread.com. Click this purple button up here. I've already seen somebody post that they just scheduled a demo. All right.
Or you can go straight to the sign up, and you can work directly with our customer success team. Either one.
There you go.
Yeah. You'll be in good hands.
Yeah. Go to sign up. There you go. Sign up. Put your shit in there. Get it rolling. I don't mean this disrespectfully, but this is cheap. Okay. For all the benefits that you get from it, and the support and avoidance of mistakes and connection with your clients and engagement with them through the process, guys, $199 is nothing per month. And, additional users at $20. Think of all the chaos that you guys can eliminate when you have a good tool like this. So, dude, appreciate you, man.
Hey, thanks for having me, Tom.
Guys, I appreciate you being part of the fight and spending some time with us here tonight. We will be back next week again I'll be back next week again to answer questions and all that good stuff. And with that, you guys rock. I got to roll. When I don't say that, Eric, people get mad at me. I'm like, it's become a thing now, I guess. So, but there you go, guys. Appreciate you. And head to JobTread.com. I'm out.